Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. That, by the way, is me in Idaho. I'm ready to go back. I'm Louisa Barton. In the studio, I have Emma Cannon and Chandler Mulvaney here with the Extension Office. Thank you both for being with us. It's lovely. I ran into you at Horseween, and I got you here in the studio.
Yes, ma'am.
It's great.
Yeah.
And thank you to Ashley Reagan, who, by the way, we moved everything around to add her in another segment. And then she didn't come, but it's okay. We can have her back anytime. But actually, Ashley's the one who sort of connected me, and we got to talking a little bit about 4-H. So I'm going to let you guys take it away and talk a little bit about 4-H youth development.
Sure. So thanks for having us, by the way. We're really
I love how
happy to
you
hear-
match.
Yeah.
You have matching hair, matching eyes, and matching shirts. Like, wow, that's good.
Just happened by chance. But we're really happy to be here, and kind of funny story. We're looking at ways to engage with the community over the last couple of weeks, and we actually found your website, and so submitted a request to be on your show. And I think about that same time is when you reached out to Ashley, and somehow the connection was made. So
Perfect.
just happy to be here.
Good timing, yeah.
But yeah, so 4-H is a nationwide program, and it's actually the largest youth development program in the country. And Florida is very blessed to have about 200,000 4-Hers all across the state.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot, yeah, yes ma'am. And Marion County specifically is one of the largest 4-H programs in the state.
That makes sense.
Yes.
We're
yeah.
kind of four-legged friendly here, aren't we?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So we have about 1,000 4-Hers across 50 4-H clubs, and we cater to youth ages 8 to 18 in the community. So for those watching, if you're interested in joining 4-H, if you're interested in any type of programs related to horse or not, then we're really the right program for your 4-Her.
That's wonderful. So tell us about you, Emma. What's your role?
So I have a really big background in plant science, and Chandler has a really big background in livestock.
In plant science?
In plant science.
You mean like you
yes.
can keep plants alive? Because I kill everything I touch.
Yeah. Yes. We actually have a program right now called Garden Army, and there's a bunch of wonderful, cute little kids who are growing radishes at the Extension Office and learning all about plants and how they grow and what they need to be healthy and feed us. And so we're doing a lot with that. We're excited for all that we've done this year. It's coming to kind of a close as we head towards Christmas, and then we'll get started back again with our Southeastern Youth Fair. We have a lot of kids that will show horses in that fair coming up in February.
And what sort of equestrian showing do they do?
They
Do they do a number of different disciplines?
They do. They have just about every discipline you can think of. And it's just for 4-Her members and FFA members in Marion County. So any of those members are eligible to show in the Southeastern Youth Fair.
Yeah.
So talking kind of about the beginnings of 4-H, it's been around for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the early 1900s or something like that?
Yeah, it's quite a long time. Yeah, and 4-H is really fascinating in how it got started. And specific to Florida, we began in Marion County as one of the first 3 4-H programs back in 1909. And since then, we've been really tremendously blessed with the amount of resources and volunteers. At one time, I think we had close to 1,000 volunteers. That was back in the 1970s, 1980s. And right now we've got about 200 adult volunteers those are kind of our experts. So you mentioned Ashley and several others in the community. Emma and I are kind of facilitators, so we help create opportunities and chances for youth to grow and experience new opportunities. But our adult volunteers, they're the ones that they're at the hands-on level, kind of digging in the dirt, providing those knowledge-based resources for our kids.
Wonderful. Now, do kids have their own horses?
Some of them do. You don't have to have a horse to be in 4-H. That's the wonderful thing about it, is you can have a horse, you can just be interested in horses, or you can know nothing about horses, and we will teach you all that we know. There is a lot of different competitions that you can compete in, all the way from hippology to being in a horse show to horse judging. horse quiz bowl, horse public speaking. So a lot of our members, I think in Equicentric this year, our first meeting is tomorrow night. So we're excited to see everyone for the first time. I think they're really going to be some of our beginning level 4-H members and horses, and they're going to learn some of the basics. And then hopefully throughout the years, we'll step them up into maybe riding lessons or competing in a horse show. We have a couple of 4-H horse shows around the state. They're area shows, and then they go on to compete at the statewide horse show for 4-H. So you don't have to have a horse, which is really the exciting thing. I know a lot of people just love horses and want to learn as much as they can about them. So this would be a great place for those kinds of people.
Yeah, I was actually delighted to hear that 1 in 3 American households either wants a horse, wishes they had a horse, or wants to have some kind of interaction with horses.
Wow, yeah.
1 in 3. I mean, that's,
That's tremendous.
a lot.
Yeah. Mhm.
And what's cool about 4-H is there are a lot of kids who want to be involved with horses, but they can't necessarily afford it.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful that, there's a way that they can get involved and kind of try it and dabble in it. And actually, I have lots of other things to talk to you about for my day job involved with that. But anyway, so tell me what your role is, Chandler. You're involved. You mentioned it
Sure.
a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so Emma and I actually both are considered what's called extension agents, and we work specifically with 4-H and youth development here in Marion County. And extension began with, was it I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Anyways, okay. I was hoping you'd chime in. But, it began, I think, back in the 1850s or 1860s with the Land Grant Act, correct? And so that established the cooperative extension network all across the United States. So every state has an extension network of extension professionals like Emma and myself. And then we work on behalf of taxpayers, on behalf of universities such as University of Florida, which is one of the land grants in the state of Florida, on creating those opportunities, whether it's with youth or meeting the needs of, say, cattle producers, or maybe there's a manure management issue on a local horse farm. We're put in those communities to help provide solutions to those needs.
We're kind of like the trickle-down effect. So UF does a lot of research, and then we disseminate that knowledge to the local community. Whether it be about positive youth development with horse programming, we would then train volunteers such as Ashley into those programs that UF has deemed most important or the best for those kids, and then Ashley would then teach those things to her club. We have some agents in our office who do horses with landscaping, like the best landscaping for your horse area at your house. And so there's all kinds of different things involved with livestock, involved with equine, not just for kids. So cooperative extension is a great place to check to see what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a wonderful job to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every-
we're really helping people. These solutions to improve your life is basically what we're all about.
And how did you find your volunteers?
Well, we're really blessed in this community for volunteers to come to us, but we are constantly looking for new volunteers. So if you're interested in specifically working with 4-H, then we are more than happy to welcome you to our program. But a lot of the times we are seeking opportunities such as this. So trying to go to events like Horse-A-Ween, or just get engaged in the community with CEP as well.
Yeah, that was a perfect fit.
Yes,
Horse-A-Ween
ma'am.
was
We work in a
perfect
lot
fit.
of schools as well. So some of our volunteers are teachers, and they involve their classrooms in different projects, whether it be equine or gardening, you name it. And so they're also a really great source of volunteers.
That's wonderful. Okay, so hold that thought. We are going to go to our last break, and we're going to actually come back, Chandler and Emma, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Equicentric. I just love that name. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show presented by Palm Chevrolet. We'll be right back. Back on the final segment this week of the Horse Talk Show presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Martin in the studio. I have a couple of people actually I just made friends with at Horse-A-Ween last week, Emma Cannon and Chandler Mulvaney, and that was a wonderful event. You guys were in the perfect place for all those kids to be around, and wonderful. But we are going to switch it up a little bit and talk about how Equicentric is kind of like I guess a piece that comes off what you do, right? And then Ashley Reagan, who Don't be mad at me, Ashley. I miscommunication on how many people were coming and all of that. But anyway, we gave you a second segment. So Ashley Reagan, this is your segment.
Yes, so we have about 50 different clubs, and our clubs are really how kids get involved in 4-H, and Equicentric is one of those clubs. And that is a completely horse-centered, focused club. And we have 2 wonderful volunteers, a leader and a co-leader, and they are planning to teach the kids everything that they need to know about being the best horseman.
And so is this a new group, the Equicentric?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so it was actually established last year, and we have 2 to 3 horse-specific clubs in Marion County 4-H. And the beautiful thing about 4-H is it establishes an opportunity for them to learn from their leaders and from us as 4-H agents, those critical life skills. I think I saw in one of your commercials at the beginning of the show that it was like 21,000 jobs are related to the horse industry in Marion County.
Yes, that's horse farms forever.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, and so creating, those skills that connect back to a potential career that they might have, communication skills, just like us being here tonight, learning how to run an effective meeting, but then also with those volunteers connecting in, okay, how do I properly feed my horse at a specific time of the year? So getting to the kind of nitty gritty of horse-specific projects.
Wow, how wonderful. Now, how often will Equicentric meet?
About once a month. A lot of our clubs meet about once a month. They can meet more than that if they so choose. And this is our first meeting tomorrow night, actually at 6 o'clock at the Extension office. So if we have anyone listening who's interested, actually 5 years old to 18 years old, they are more than welcome to come. And there's a Zoom link if you're more comfortable doing that and watching from your house. But we would just love to get as many kids involved. There's so many different things to do with the equine industry in Marion County, and so we're excited to have 2 wonderful leaders to introduce them to the world of equine in Marion County.
Yes, it certainly is. And one of the things that part of my day job with the CEP as the equine director, one of the things that we've come across that's such a, in my opinion, a serious problem is that the next generation of kids coming up aren't having enough outside time and time in sort of rural type pastimes and interests. And with horse riding, it often is, if somebody wants to compete at a high level, it's often very expensive to own a horse, board a horse, train a horse, feed a horse, all of those things. So how we can get this generation, and we were actually just talking about like FFA and different, Betsy and I were actually, Betsy from Larson Farms and I were just talking about anything that can get kids involved more with the horse world or being outdoors or growing a garden or being around cows or anything is a positive. Getting them away from these things, and outside, and I think that's, and especially in our area, Marion County, being the real horse capital of the world. I shouldn't say that because I'm going to Lexington tomorrow, I might be in trouble. But being in the real horse capital of the world, the trademarked one, I feel like it's even more important that we get kids involved because there's so many wonderful jobs and opportunities for them that they might never even know about if they didn't have that opportunity to be, involved. And I think 4-H is one of those wonderful ways that you can get kids into something they can afford and still get all these opportunities and learn how amazing it is to be around horses.
Exactly, and I think one of the really amazing things about 4-H is that even if you don't have a horse, or if you do have a horse, we cater to all audiences, but if you don't have a horse, then you can take that passion for horses and learning about the horse community, whether that's local or at a state level, and maybe you can do a little bit of research on a problem or an issue in your community and go give a speech on it, but still have that exposure, like you mentioned, to some of those horse farms or horse connections, or maybe even being able to meet with you and come on your show as a 4-H'er. I'm sure that would.
We'd love to have some of the kids on. Yeah,
Okay,
if you get some that feel confident, about coming, absolutely. I would be more than happy to have them. I've had a couple of really great kids on the show before, and I was like, whew, blown away.
I'm sure.
Betsy Gray from Stirrups and Strides actually brought one of her girls who who won a medal
wow.
and she was fantastic, you know, and she had diagnosed with autism, but she did great. She was so excited, and the 2 times I had her on the show, the first time she was like, you know, kind of shy, like, oh, I've never done this before. The second time I couldn't stop her talking. She was fantastic, and she was so excited about having won.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love it. I think if we can encourage them and let them have their moment in the spotlight, you know.
And that's really what we want to encourage the kids to do, is to learn these life skills, because one day they're going to get a job, you know, they're going to be able to speak in front of their peers at work, or have to make a budget, or have to manage their time efficiently. And so we can use horses as the driver to make them learn these life skills that they may not realize they're learning at the time. Then what a wonderful and fun way to learn all these important things in life that we don't even know that we need to know as a kid. So
it's wonderful.
Definitely.
So for more information, where should people go? Website?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Facebook at Marion County, Florida 4-H. And then you can also follow us on Instagram at 4-H Marion County.
Okay.
We don't have a fully functioning website at this time, but you can also contact our office just by calling 352-671-8400.
And we do have 3 horse shows coming up. One is January the 16th at the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion. That is the 4-H show. And then the Southeastern Youth Fair, of course, any 4-H or FFA member can participate. And then in late April, we have our area show. And if you advance on to states after area, then you'll have one more. So
Wow.
lots
Nice
of
full,
opportunities.
Yeah, full resume.
Yeah. So any last thing you want to add for our listeners?
If you have any interest in horses, if you're a little girl who just wants a pony, I think that is great, all the way up to you're competing and you're doing shows all over the place. We are here for you at any level, and we would love to have your expertise and to share that with younger kids and help you grow as a professional and as a person.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I don't
You
think I
love
could
what
have
you
said
do,
it
I
any better.
can tell. No.
Yeah.
I can see you two have a passion.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yeah,
have absolutely
definitely.
a passion for what you do. I think that's fantastic, and you obviously love it. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yes, ma'am.
wonderful. We are about to wrap it up, and really just want to remind you to tune in Saturday, 2:00 on Facebook at the Horse Talk Show, and you can listen to our very special features on the Ocala-Marion County area connections to the richest weekend in horse racing, $31 million in races that weekend, with so many connections. Over 25 horses involved, either born here, connected here in some way, and trained here. So we hope you enjoy that broadcast, whether you're in Ocala-Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not. Happy horsing around. Until next time.